This, the CLA, is Mercedes' first salvo for the year 2015. A year Mercedes says will be its biggest in a long time. But the car, as you can tell, isn't all that big, and that's because it's based on the same MFA platform as the A and B class. Now, it sits on the same wheelbase as the two hatchbacks, and it has the same track lengths as well. Moreover, it is exactly the same height as the A-Class hatchback. But what this also means is that the CLA will be Mercedes' most affordable sedan in the country. Size might not be CLA's strong point, but its styling most definitely is. It isn't as arresting to look at from the front. Its headlamps, grille, and even the bumper to an extent do remind you of the A-Class. But in profile, that coupe-like sloping down roof, the pronounced shoulder and sill lines, and those lovely looking wheels give the CLA a unique road presence. And then there's the gorgeous rear, with the twin tailpipes, the aggressively sketched bumper, and the curvaceous haunches lit by the tastefully done LED tail lamps. And how can we forget those frameless doors? It just gives the CLA a touch of class. The CLA then is without doubt one of the best looking sedans in the country today. The same, however, cannot be said about the sedan's interiors. Now don't get us wrong, like any Mercedes of recent vintage, the quality, the fit and finish, and the choice of materials is all up to the mark. But then there's no originality here. It's all A-Class. So you have similar instrumentation, similar tablet-like display stuck on the dashboard, and of course similar overall design for the dash. What's new though is the steering wheel, the center console look and feel, and the use of silver accent on the dash. Having said that, we still like a few things there, like the aviation-inspired aircon vents. The CLA is not a very spacious car on the inside, and it's best used as a four-seater. Having said that, at the rear, there is enough knee room for the rear passengers, and that's because the front seats, the sports seats, have this curved back. Now, another big issue with the CLA, as expected, would be the headroom, since it's coupe-like roofline. But if you're an average height person like me, then the headroom isn't really a problem. However, if you're a 6-footer, then it's going to be very uncomfortable. What isn't uncomfortable are the seats. Now at the front you get these really nice sporty seats with good side support and good cushioning. Even at the back, Mercedes has tried to do 2 individual seats. Now we've spoken about the CLA styling, its interiors, the space and other practical aspects. But when it comes to driving, the CLA comes with 2 engine options. There's a petrol and there's a diesel. Now this one here is the 2.1 litre 4-cylinder diesel. 135 PS, 300 Newton meters of torque, and it is mated to a 7-speed DSG. Now the engine has a decent spread of torque, so you can drive it comfortably in the city and when you want to cruise on the highway. The only problem with the engine is that it is noisy. It is noisy at idle, it is noisy when you start it up, and it is noisy when you rev it. Between the two, the petrol is quieter, more refined, and in fact more fun to drive. It's also quicker. If there's one thing we haven't enjoyed about the MFA cars, the A-Class and the B-Class, is the ride quality that they offer. They've been stiff, uncomfortable, harsh. Now for the CLA, Mercedes has reworked the settings and it is more pliant now, it is more comfortable. The CLA isn't a very entertaining car to drive. It's great on a straight line, no doubt. But around corners, its first response is to understeer. It's a front-wheel driven car, so you'd expect that, but it just tends to lose grip sooner than you'd expect. So the way to drive it is to be a little more cautious than you'd probably be in the A-Class. The CLA will come fully equipped in all its avatars, which means things like sunroof, reversing camera, electrically adjustable memory seats, and all the fancy safety bits, airbags, attention assist, ESP and the like will all come as standard. As will the premium interior, the high-end sound system and the ambient lighting. All of this makes the CLA a very compelling package. But it will come at a price that will hover around the Rs 35 lakh mark. So it isn't going to be cheap by any stretch. As far as fuel efficiency goes, Mercedes claims the diesel returns just under 18 kmpl, while the petrol's ARAI figure is rated at over 15. Both these figures are pretty healthy for a car that packs in so much stuff. The CLA is one of those cars that many have been waiting for, and the good news is it doesn't disappoint. It is good looking, it is well put together, and it does feel premium and luxurious, at least for its class. It's also well equipped, and it's a good drive as well, especially the petrol. So should you spend rupees 35 lakhs and get yourself one? We think you should. But should you buy it over everything else that you can in this price bracket? Well, we're not so sure about that, because if you want a value offering, then there are many options available. But if you want to buy a badge that you can flaunt and feel good about, well, then the CLA is just the ticket. For a detailed review and the latest news, reviews and videos, do log on to ZigWheels.com.